I guess so, yeah. Maybe he's just gotten in. He's out all night. Showed up just in time for his match.
You'd think.
These two have played a lot already for being so young. Hewitt leads 4-2, but the last time they played was a big match, semifinal at the Tennis Masters Series event in Miami, and Federer straight set it. Hewitt. Federer went on to lose to Agassi in the final there in Miami. But it was a hot start to the year for Federer, and that was part of it, that final appearance in Miami. Pascal Maria in the chair. See if he does what Andre Agassi asked earlier today. Just sit up in the chair and keep score. Don't impose yourself in this match.
There were a number of overrules in that Moya match. All kinds of let cords, a lot of close points. Agassi lost his cool for a while, which, you know, is kind of rare. You don't see much of that from him.
No, you don't. Here's Jason Stoltenberg coaching Hewitt now. Took the place of Darren Cahill, who was with Hewitt all through his teenage years, made him up to #1 in the world with him, and then got fired. Peter Lundgren coaching Roger Federer, ex-Swedish player.
Going with the wet look for this one. Usually has the hair flowing. It has to be relieved now that he knows Federer is on his way to Shanghai. That takes a little pressure off. Now it's all about winning a title, winning the prize money.
Exactly. It's a little more relaxed. These guys were so uptight coming into this tournament. All the top 10 players knew they had a chance, and what was amazing was they all seemed to be winning. They all kept going. It made it tougher and tougher. They had to keep going further in the tournament to get those points. Federer did his job, reached the quarterfinals, earned his spot. Hewitt never had to deal with that pressure in this tournament. He knew he was in. The pressure on Hewitt is whether he can extend that lead against Andre Agassi going into the Masters. Give himself a little bit of a cushion.
Federer's backhand, which has been so good in this tournament thus far, lets him down a little bit there.
Haas had no answer for Federer's serve yesterday, and you know that Hewitt's going to make returns. He got aced on that first serve, but he's going to force Federer to win his points. It's not a lot of free points coming your way when you play Hewitt. You already get a sense of how important Federer's first serve is for him in this match. He's gotten 2 first serves in. He's won both points. The both points he's missed have gone to Hewitt.
Some early trouble for Federer.
Hewitt's hitting more aggressively than you normally see him from the baseline against Federer. He doesn't want to give Federer a chance to attack. And he's got Federer slightly on his heels.
Leighton Hewitt. Early jump in this. Off the Federer serve.
And a horrible sign for Federer that he wasn't able to win one rally in that game. The only points he won was when he got big first serves in.
Both men going with the all black look. I'm not a big fan of the black socks. I don't know. Moya, I'm not a fan of that.
If you're going to wear it, you might as well wear it indoors where there's no sun.
Makes you look slower. Black. You
Could
never
be.
wore black sneakers, did you?
No.
Did they have black sneakers in your
I
time?
don't know if they did. I don't know if they hadn't invented color yet. Back when I played.
And they had black and white film, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So early on, Federer a little bit disjointed, it looks like.
Wow, that's the defensive skills of Leighton Hewitt showcased on that point. This was a great return. Federer comes in, but Hewitt somehow got a nice ball down low. Wasn't a bad volley from Federer, it's just too good from Hewitt. Nearly 200-kilometer-an-hour serve from Leighton Hewitt. He's pumped up for this match. First rally, Federer's won from the baseline. Jason Stoltenberg, himself a semi-finalist at Wimbledon one year, so a pretty good player in his own right. Now coaching Hewitt.
Now, sitting there as a coach early in a match, what are you looking for in his case, do you think?
I think he's just looking to see how Hewitt's handling the pace of Federer, and I think he's doing a tremendous job. At the moment, it's all Leighton Hewitt. Federer is, as you said, disjointed. He doesn't seem to be finding the court. Stoltenberg's got to be feeling pretty comfortable.
Federer looks like his opponent from yesterday, Tommy Haas.
He caught that disease.
Is that catching?
I guess so.
Volley that flies long. Is it anything like a pitcher warming up in the bullpen? Do you know in warm-ups you're going to be able to strike the ball solidly? Is that anything, any similarity there?
Not in warm-ups, no. Once the points start and the match starts, then you get a better sense. But for some reason, you can have a lousy warm-up, missing shots, and it doesn't mean anything, and vice versa.
Even on serve.
For me, that was the case.
Now, of course, return a serve you won't get a real feel for because you know the player's not hitting as hard as he can.
And he also doesn't really let you practice your return too much. You see the guy sneaking over to hit a return, you make sure you miss it wide and get it out of his reach.
Plus, in a warm-up, the server doesn't want to give you any look at what he's going to try to do.
That's what I mean. He tries to make sure you don't really, you're not standing there looking at the return.
Federer looks a little not elongating his toss and his service motion yet. Hewitt, little volley work there. Nicely done.
One of the things you look for when you're a coach early is your movement, how your feet are moving, because that's really how you're going to play. And you can see at the moment sometimes Federer's taking big steps, big, long, one step. You don't want to do that. You want little quick steps to be in position. And Hewitt's doing that beautifully. Hewitt has come out on fire. Federer sluggish. Maybe he was out all night with that outfit.
So Federer finally on the board here. Hewitt leads 2-1 in the first.
Roger Federer has to be a little concerned with his slow start today. He's playing the #1 player in the world, the guy he beat earlier this year in their only match this year. But he has lost 4 times to Leighton Hewitt, and the way things have started, Hewitt looks to be the superior player so far today, but Federer has made some errors. He can clean that play up. He does have the shots. He can come to net. He can do a little bit of everything to give Hewitt all kinds of trouble.
Time to Hewitt backhand. Ends up in the middle of the net. Now Hewitt's aware of the Agassi defeat, so that's going to help him as he tries to secure the #1 overall ranking. Still a ways to go, but Agassi's momentum slowed down today by Carlos Moya. Hit way long.
Hewitt's been up at the net far more often today than we saw it all against. Almost never came to net against Kafelnikov yesterday. He's a good volleyer, Hewitt, when he comes in. He is dangerous up there. He's not allowing Federer to just push any ball in play. He's taking advantage.
Hewitt's been in the top 10 of the ATP Champions race for 33 weeks. He's been #1 for 17 weeks. And playing like it for the most part in this tournament. Federer with a big forehand.
Federer's forehand is awfully dangerous. He can do anything with it. He can roll it with a lot of spin. He can flatten it out. Here's a look of what that forehand can do for you. Federer running around his backhand with a deep ball, then quickly coming forward, cutting that cross-court ball off, taking time away from Hewitt. Not often do you see a clean winner from the baseline against Leighton Hewitt. He's so quick.
Now Federer with a break point. That time Hewitt kind of forced the issue quickly with Federer pinned against the baseline and saves a break point.
Federer with 7 unforced errors, but also 7 winners as he's turned his game around from the first 2 games.
Hewitt off his feet. Have a game point.
Hewitt is pretty pumped up today. You can see it by his movement. Getting in quickly and jumping up with a little flair for this shot. Hewitt's allowed to say the F word out loud more than any player I've ever seen to never get in trouble for it. He just complained that that serve was a let. It's the first time we've seen all week that someone actually thought it was a let that the microphone missed. It's normally the opposite that's happening. But it wasn't your just normal let. It was a bad word let.
There's a difference?
Not really, but it...
Another game point for Hewitt. Wide. Now he's appealing to the chair umpire. Fastball, Maria.
The ball, I did that, but then the ball is out. It's right. It's out. Leighton. I missed. What are you going on about? It's the ball is. You override him, though. Sorry. You override him. No, I didn't. You gone like that? Well, just was my mistake because the ball is clearly out.
Ooh,
the ball
what?
Is out. Well, no, that's a, no.
What happened here?
If I do it.
First of all,
I think he ruled it in, didn't he, the linesman?
no, what happened was the linesman called it out, but it was a little bit of a late call, and Hewitt saw the umpire making the good sign. He didn't overrule the linesman. Once the linesman set out, the umpire didn't change his call, and Hewitt said, well, you overrule him, and you said you were, I saw your hand saying good. And the umpire said that was my mistake. It was clearly out.
Well, Federer's upset. Well, it's getting to be that time, the quarterfinals of an important Tennis Masters event. Big prize money on the line and valuable points.
Well, that was a horrible couple of points from Federer when he had Hewitt upset about what had happened with the line call. He shanks 2 balls long and wide. Just gives the game away.
3 deuces in that game, but Hewitt holds. Both of these guys in the top 5 on the ATP Tour and second serve points won. So even if the first serve isn't working, they seem to be able to win points. It's Federer, a little serve and attacking the net.
The early match jitter seemed to be gone now for Federer as he's finding his range with everything. That's such a good return to serve that Hewitt has, and he backs it up with passing shots and topspin lobs. It is tough to serve and volley successfully against Hewitt.
Federer starting to get it together here in the first. Hewitt has a break of serve. Joining ESPN as the 2002 NFL season continues, Fred Taylor and the Jaguars traveling to the Meadowlands to take on Tiki Barber and the New York Giants, who are without wide receiver Ike Hilliard now for the rest of the season. Ron Dixon will get the start. Kerry Collins quarterbacking. Jim Fossil calling the plays. Instead of Sean Payton, ESPN brings you complete live coverage of the NFL season all the way to Super Bowl 37 scheduled for San Diego, California.
So obviously it was the play calling that forced the Giants to lay that egg in Philadelphia on offense.
Well, apparently Giants coach Jim Fossil wants to take complete responsibility for what's happening. Well, he's got it now. Leighton Hewitt to serve, up a break here in the first. It's a best of three in the quarterfinals. Federer's been on himself early in this match for not getting to shots that he thinks he should be getting to.
Well, that's another example. Footwork. His footwork has not been stellar yet. He had no business not being set up for that forehand. He had plenty of time to get over there.
I think his rating on that last attempt was ay, ay, ay.
He needs to attack some second serves. That's his one hope. That was not a very attacking return to serve, to say the least, from Federer, but he got away with it. Hewitt with a different approach shot. This ball was easy for Federer to handle.
That missed by an awful lot.
Federer has caught Tommy Haas's disease. A couple of games he plays well, and we think, okay, now he's into the match, he's ready to play, and then this game.
Sam Federer winning the battle at the baseline. Federer's had one break point thus far in the first set, but he's made 12 unforced errors.
Amazing that this game is at deuce. Hewitt is allowing Federer to get away with a defensive lob. Didn't do enough with that overhead, and then ill-advised drop volley attempt from behind the service line. Put that ball back deep. Start over.
Now Federer, a chance to get that break back. Crowd responding. They seem to be behind him early on.
They didn't like the way Hewitt was dealing with the umpire.
You can't verbally abuse the umpire and get away with it.
Why not?
Maybe that's what they're
I'm
saying.
all for it.
Well, Agassi tried it a little bit in his match. That didn't work.
They still didn't seem to get down on Agassi, the crowd, for yelling at the umpire.
It's too good off the forehand side. Saves the break point.
I like the play from Federer up until this point when he gave Hewitt a short backhand, almost goaded him into the net. It's good to have a player that doesn't want to come in. You can move him up and back as well as side to side. But Hewitt eventually got control of the point with his forehand. So a little bit too good. Great serve out wide, pretty good return, and then a clean winner. Hewitt has been slightly more aggressive today than normal.
Does seem to be really hitting out and going for ground strokes. Another loose return of serve by Federer. So after that break of serve in the very first game, Federer tried to climb back into it. Oh! And he was there.
Federer's just a little out of sorts. That drop shot was a pitiful attempt at a drop shot you'll see right here coming up. Hewitt could have done anything, but Federer guessed right, sort of whiffed. Could have gotten a little better piece of that.
He looked a little indecisive, as if he wanted to volley it and then let it drop and then try to drop shot. So maybe his mind's not quite there yet. That'll be troublesome when you're playing someone like Hewitt. You better be ready.
seems to want this match a little more than Federer does. He's more intense with his feet and with his shots, looking to get up for that high forehand volley.
Hewitt mishits that forehand. Hewitt's among the tour leaders in points won against first and second serves. He's number 1 against first serves. Wins 35% of them. He's number 2 against second serves, winning 55% of those. So he's a classic counter puncher.
Himself. There's an example of it. Hewitt today has really not been content. You see some matches where he's happy to put the ball in the center of the court and wait for you to get yourself out of position trying to hit a winner. Today he's been a little more aggressive.
An ace by Federer. Maybe he feels that if he plays it to the center of the court too often with this opponent, Roger Federer, that's going to be troublesome.
Obviously he must have tried it in Miami and gotten beaten.
Federer hangs on. 4-3 Hewitt in the first. Mike Crispino and Jimmy Arias, the BNP Paribas Masters, the last Tennis Masters event of the season. And then it's on to Shanghai for the Masters Cup. Hewitt has new tennis balls to serve. Here in the 8th game of the first set, leading 4-3. He's up a break.
There's that heavy forehand Federer can hit. He can hit flat, he can hit inside out, he can hit that rolling topspin. He's got everything on that forehand side. If he can get a look at a few of those, he can put pressure on Hewitt's serve, and he has put pressure on Hewitt's serve the last 2 games.
Well, he changed his shirt, maybe for good luck after just 7 games. nice volley by Hewitt. Great stab at it by Federer just to get it back.
It was a very cool looking stab backhand coming up right here. Great approach. Federer just a little flick of the wrist and got it down low. Wasn't a simple volley for Hewitt.
Hewitt's own medicine that time by Federer. Puts a little pressure on.
And Hewitt looks up at Federer after that shot. He knows this tide is slowly starting to turn, that Federer is not giving him the unforced errors any longer. He's played 3 nice points in this game, Federer has.
And now Roger Federer has a couple of major opportunities. See what he can do with them.
Well, that's the story so far. Hewitt 1 of 1 on his break chances. Federer's had break chances now in the 3rd straight game. This time he's got 2, and he's got a second serve here. He's got to attack. The easiest shots you're going to get all rally long in general is Hewitt's second serve. And why Federer's just pushing it back, I have no idea. That's the ball to take advantage of, especially at 15-40.
Hewitt trying to go down the middle. Federer back to silly miscues. 2 break points gone.
Incredible the up and down way Federer's playing. He's played some great points, but when he's missing, he's shanking the ball.
These two are 2 of the top 3 money winners on the ATP Tour this year. Federer 1.3 million, Hewitt over 2 million.
Hewitt's a guy that seems to take tennis matches personally as a fight between you and the other guy. You can see he missed that backhand. He had Federer going the wrong way, and he does the stare down. He's done it 3 times in this game now where he's looked over at Federer. Federer's not even paying attention, doesn't realize it's happening.
No time for sensitivity. Time he's been able to handle himself well at the net.
Able to handle break points. He's been facing him game after game. Federer made him hit another not difficult volley, but at least a reasonable volley here. See, as soon as he saw that ball coming short, he sprinted forward. What?
I didn't quite catch it.
I don't think he was happy overall with the attempted
think?
backhand.
Think he was unhappy?
If I had to guess.
You're a mind reader. 5 break points Hewitt has escaped from in this first set. putting himself back in danger, though. So again, Hewitt can end the game. 4 deuces. Attacking that backhand, they're back to deuce for a 5th time.
You don't see Hewitt miss this kind of passing shot very often. It was a good approach. Stayed down low, not with a lot of pace. Hewitt normally will just hit that passing shot down low and force you to hit the volley.
Crucial game developing here, the 8th game of this first set. Federer down a break.
Backhand has really let Federer down today so far.
There goes the racket. And he knows it. And I think as a player, you do know when you're letting yourself down. You have opportunities and they just get wasted. And Hewitt survives with a little help from Federer.
Hewitt has just been surviving on virtually every service game in this set other than the first time he served. He's been in trouble. He's been under pressure. He has played the break points well. Federer has really let some opportunities slip with poor play. This match has not quite been the same quality that we saw the first 2 matches. Agassi, Moy, and Escudé softened. There's still a ways to go.
Late call there. Federer has a game point. Let cord. Hewitt on top of it. Nice volley. And Federer finishes it off. He holds serve. Hewitt to serve for the first set when we return on ESPN. Mike Crispino and Jimmy Arias in Paris, the BNP Paribas Masters from center court, where Leighton Hewitt has a break of service of Roger Federer and will try to serve out the first set. A beautiful city. Eiffel Tower, one of the most outstanding parts of it. I'm sure you've been up there. Had dinner up there?
I've been under it, but I never
I've been
went
up
up,
there.
if you
Yeah.
can believe it.
Really?
All the years I went there.
You've been there for a lot of years. You like being in this city, right?
I think
You're a fan of Paris.
I am. I think I played Roland Garros 12 times, so I was there at least 12 times. Somehow I missed the Eiffel Tower.
Big serve by Hewitt to start the game.
This has been a strange set so far. You just don't have any feel for rhythm, any momentum. No player can really hold it. Obviously, Hewitt broke serve first game, and he's been able to hang on to his serve, but barely has he been hanging on to his serve.
Well, aside from the scoreboard, you can't tell who's really winning. It may sound silly, but there hasn't been much difference between these two players. They've both been a little erratic.
It's such a good forehand that Federer has. He can take a little short backswing and just whip the forehand. So tough to read. Even for Hewitt, a guy with his speed, he's still sometimes a little late. And he's in a little trouble again, Hewitt, on his serve. Every game he's under pressure. But he seems to come up with the shots when the big points are there.
Match slow developing, but you can feel the pressure starting to build here.
Two big serves in a row for Hewitt.
Leighton Hewitt hangs in. He has the first set. It's a best of 3. Overhead view of Lleyton Hewitt and Roger Federer. Hewitt had the early break in the very first game, and that's the way it stayed throughout. They all both held serve.
Although Federer had his chances to break back numerous times, Hewitt was always there for the answer when faced with break point.
6-4 first set win by Hewitt. And if you're Roger Federer and you see that you had so many chances and you couldn't break, can you wipe that right out of your mind and get to work on a second set?
You can, simply because he knows he did have those chances, number one. And number two, the reason he lost that set was just a poor start. First game where he dropped serve.
That lob not nearly good enough.
That's the kind of tennis we've been seeing today. That was a great point from both players. I love the way Federer tries to hit little short, not drop shots exactly, but almost drop shots. That's a sweet serve and volley from Federer. He can do a little bit of everything. It sometimes takes longer for an all-court player to sort of develop his game and figure out exactly what style he wants to play. Whereas Hewitt, he knows what his game is all about.
Hewitt just rips a forehand deep. Put a little pressure on Roger Federer.
Hewitt has done this today. Maybe that's why there's a couple of extra unforced errors from him, but he has opened up from the baseline. He has been more aggressive. See that often from Hewitt. Break point, second serve. He's got to make that return. You never know when you're playing a big server when they can erase one with just an ace. He's going to get another look at a second serve here.
Hewitt lost his footing a little bit, but that was because of Federer's sharp angle.
This slice backhand, not this topspin passing shot. That's the final shot in the point. But he hits the slice backhand to Hewitt that really goads Hewitt into coming to the net. That time Hewitt took the bait, came in, but not on a great approach.
Federer follows that up with a strong serve. Started his year off well at Sydney, winning over Juan Ignacio Chela. Lost to Agassi in Miami in the final. Let cord and it falls over. So Federer, a little bit of luck, holds on.
Saved a couple of break points. He turned around what's been happening in this match. Hewitt's been the one saving break points. Finally, Federer does it. That could help his confidence. He has certainly had chances to break Hewitt. Been a damaging blow for him to get down a break early in the second set the way he did in the first.
Especially after you were down a set. Federer, who went to Hamburg in May and was able to beat Murat Safin there in the final.
That was a surprising result because Federer had not really in his career done well on clay yet. Hadn't done well in Monte Carlo before. Or Rome.
And of course he won in Vienna as well in October, defeating Yuri Novak in that final. Hewitt seems to be a little more willing to get to the net in this match.
Again, part of it is the shots that Federer is giving him. That slice backhand that's so short, he is almost forced to make a decision. Do I hit this and run back, which puts you in a bad position, or do I go ahead, hit it, and come to net? And he has, for the most part, chosen to come up to the net, but he's almost being goaded up there by Federer. Problem for Federer is Hewitt's not volleying that badly that it's that great of a strategy. That slice had a lot of juice on it that Federer just gave Hewitt. It was going almost sideways by the time it got to Hewitt. Seen a couple of guys doing some junk ball tennis today. Moya was doing it to Agassi, and now Federer.
Seems to have been fairly effective, though, in winning points.
It has. I like seeing it. I like seeing something different.
Goes to show you, if you throw something a little different at these power players, sometimes it crosses them up. I've got it.
That's been one of the problems for Federer today. He has hit a number of shanked ground strokes.
Now, where does that come from? Is that just a lack of concentration, trying to do too much, maybe?
It's just obviously you mistime the ball, and the way these guys swing, the racket head speed that they're getting, it doesn't take a lot to miss hit. You just need to be off by a little bit, and that racket head whipping through is going to cause a miss hit. In the old days with the wood racket, those miss hits tend to go in. With these graphite rackets, they go long.
They go way long.
Federer with far too many unforced errors, but this is the first match we've seen today where both players have hit less winners than unforced errors. Hence the crowd a little subdued in this match so far. They've been trying to get into it, but the quality just hasn't quite been there.
And Hewitt comes up with a big serve when he needs it. One apiece in the second.
It's amazing how every game Hewitt serve seems to be a tough, drawn-out affair, but he continues to keep holding serve.
Tough return of serve there.
Federer took a little off that first serve. He's certainly out here doing things. He's took a little off, trying to get to net more quickly, closer to the net. It did not pay off. Hewitt with that tremendous return to serve. Ah. Boy, oh boy, that was a couple of poor shots from both players. Hewitt normally with a great topspin lob, hit it far too short. Federer just sat the backhand overhead up for Hewitt's forehand, which he promptly hit in the middle of the net. But that's a return to serve.
That was something.
It's the second time Federer tried this off-speed first serve and come to net twice now. Hewitt has dealt with it well.
So Federer on serve here in the second, leads 2-1. How the top 16 have done in Paris this week. Andre Agassi beaten in the quarterfinals. Juan Carlos Ferrero went out in the second round. Yuri Novak as well. Henman and Grosjean reached the round of 16, but the defending champion Grosjean was beaten there. And Roger Federer, you're watching right now, along with Leighton Hewitt.
Tommy Haas lost to Roger Federer in that round of 16. Moya beat Agassi in the quarterfinals, so he's in the semifinals. Roddick still alive in the quarterfinals. He needs to make the finals to make it to Shanghai. Johansson, a tough 3-set loss to Agassi. Kafelnikov lost to Hewitt. These guys all lost to seeds. Shalkin to Marat Safin. So the seeded players did awfully well here in Paris. And the #1 seed, pretty good against Roger Federer. A couple more unforced errors than normal, but he is playing more aggressive than he normally does. Going for winners.
Federer's going to get there. Hewitt's got the whole court to go to. Oh, what a point.
Was some serious athletic ability by Roger Federer in that point. First, this passing shot was tremendous. Then the drop volley. Now the get by Federer not touching the net. A good topspin lob. Federer with the backhand snapping overhead, but he just couldn't get enough power on it. Hewitt doesn't get quite enough credit for that first serve. He can pop it in there with a lot of pace. That backhand is what's really let Federer down today. Those routine backhands just didn't get his feet in position. They was too far away from him. Lundgren saying he should have hit a forehand on that ball. It was slow enough he could have run around. So Hewitt, who's had a little bit of problems with this umpire all match long, can't be happy that he just got an overrule against him on that second serve, even though it was the right call. And Hewitt deep down knows it. Another tough game on Hewitt's serve, time after time. Forced errors. Hewitt with 7 already in this set. We've only played a couple of games, but Federer still hasn't taken advantage. He has come up with a number of good volleys, Hewitt. He's hot and cold today.
Leighton Hewitt continues to escape troubles on his serve. Or on serve here in the second. He has a set in hand.
Again, that's the strategy obviously Federer has come up with. Short balls, short slicing backhands, forcing Hewitt to make the decision whether to come to net or whether to stay back. Get that sinking feeling from Federer here in this game that Hewitt may be in line to play a very consistent game and just not give away anything, and that's exactly what's happening. He's made a nice return off a first serve. Federer's going to have to come up with some big serving here to get himself out of trouble.
Hewitt, triple break point. And there it is. At love, he breaks Federer. Here in the 5th game. Now leads 3-2, and he's up a set. Leighton Hewitt off a break of Federer's serve is back to serve. 3-2 in the second, having won the first set. It's amazing how out of nowhere he just snapped up 4 points off Federer's serve and now has a lead in the second. Did you just see it coming?
30, the way he played those first 2 points, he went back to just counterpunching. And Federer, who's been so inconsistent today, there's been no reason really for Hewitt to be going for shots. He has today. He's made more unforced errors than normal, but he's been more aggressive, and I think he realized at some point, let's keep the ball in play and see just how consistent Federer can be, because today Federer has not been consistent at all.
He had probably been watching Federer against Haas and thought he'd have to pick his game up, be more aggressive, force the issue, and then when he got involved in the match, Federer just wasn't the same player that
he
beat
was
Haas.
not. No, he was not. He's missing today. He's off, Federer. Those type of shots just down the center. That's what Hewitt likes to do anyway. And he's suddenly switched back to that strategy the last game. And it's paid dividends. He hasn't lost a point. First time on Hewitt's serve in a long time that Federer wasn't able to get any sort of pressure on him. Easy hold for Hewitt, and he's on a little bit of a roll momentum-wise. Federer does get the serve with new balls here.
Well, you would figure it's got to favor the server.
Certainly does. New ball is a little quicker. Federer takes advantage with a good first serve and an easy volley.
Hewitt went down. Did he get hurt?
No, I think he's hurt his pride slightly going down on that backhand. Ooh, his front foot slipped. He was right on the baseline and it shot forward. Those are the kind that can get your Achilles tendon, but obviously Hewitt's only 21 years old. Those Achilles tendons are still supple. If you or I had done that, it would have been over.
Speak for yourself.
There's a 200K serve.
Well, if Boris Becker can be 34 and playing these exhibition matches at the U.S. Open, you must be, what, 36 by now?
38. Thanks for bringing it up.
Well, that time Federer just he had like a brain cramp, it looked like.
Had a couple of those today. Swinging volley, but he's up 40 love. If you're going to swing for the fences, you might as well do it at that point.
Federer holds on. Hewitt is up a break here in the second. ESPN invites you for another great edition of Sports Center. Tonight, we'll recap the world of sports with all the scores, stories, highlights, and everything else you need to know about the world of sports right here on ESPN. Check their local listings. I know it's one of your favorite shows.
Would have told me about the Mighty Ducks beating the Boston Bruins, stopping their 8-game winning streak, or unbeaten streak. There's Paradorn Shishafon's father, still waiting for his son later tonight against Andy Roddick.
Been coaching Paradorn since he was 6. A lot of talk in Thailand about it's time for his dad to turn him over a little bit more to international coaching.
Obviously not.
No.
He's doing pretty well.
Paradorn said, no, I'm not going to do that. He helped me get here. Why should I? Hewitt's serve has picked up here in the last couple of games. Won 7 straight points on it. As I say that, what happens?
Of course, the double fault comes. You jinxed him.
It's my fault again.
You could say serving lousy now, and he'll hit an ace for you. Or almost.
You've been around longer than I think. There is one difference between you and Boris Becker, though. Even though you're close in age, you're not being chased by the German tax authorities that I know of.
That's why he's still in great shape. He's running. Federer goes for the new shirt again, see if that changes the tide of this match. It doesn't seem to be.
There is an orange theme going on, though. He started with black and orange trim. Then he went to white with orange trim. Now he's orange with orange. It's really the only time of year you can go orange.
She go to school in Tennessee.
Hewitt 1 game away from the match now. They're holding. that looked wide to me.
It was close, but there's no way there's going to be an overrule on that serve at that pace.
Lit cord betrays Federer this time. Serving to stay in the match.
Federer is just off. Did you see how he jumped on that first volley when there was no reason to be jumping? He left his feet. Completely off timing. Wasn't able to do anything with the volley. It's just one of those days.
Now deep trouble for Roger Federer, hanging on, facing match points. Cord. Nice pickup.
Best point of the match. And it's on match point. Federer might have watched Carlos Moya save 6 match points yesterday against Grosjean and think, hey, I still got a chance. It's a great low ball defensive shot from Hewitt. And a great stab volley from Roger Federer. Saves 1 match point. Saves 2 match points.
Now he's got another one to face. It's been that kind of day for Federer. Almost feast or famine with him. That's too good from Federer off the backhand. 3 match points saved.
Hewitt would love to have his approach shot over again. He had a short forehand. He did nothing with it. Federer with a nice cross-court angled pass. That should have been match over with a little better approach shot.
A chance to force another game. Too good. Hewitt forehand down the line. Beautiful.
It's the same approach he just pushed when he had match point. If he could have done something like that, match would have been over. Instead, they're in a tough battle for this game. Federer just trying to hold serve. Give himself a chance to put the pressure on Hewitt.
And one more time. Match point on his own serve.
At some point, this starts weighing on your mind. Match point after match point. I'll harken back again to Grosjean. 6 match points he had yesterday. Hewitt has now had 4. Hewitt says too good. Exactly right. Great serve out wide. It was a deep return. It was about all Hewitt could ask for.
14th point of the game. Oh! Roger Federer, the great escape. 4-5. Hewitt to serve for the match when we return. Mike Crispino and Jimmy Arias back for Leighton Hewitt. Roger Federer, who just saved 4 match points on his serve. Now it's Hewitt's turn to try to finish it off.
See how that affects him while serving it out, trying to serve it out. It isn't as though he's been holding serve comfortably throughout this match. He's had to face break points. And now add the extra pressure of serving for the match and the fact that you've had 4 match points.
Good start for Hewitt. Let that one go smartly.
That was well left. Not the shank again. Boy, he's had some problems hitting the ball in the strings today, Roger Federer. That one may be spelling the end of the match. At least that's what Peter Lundgren looks like he believes. Already saved 4 match points. He's going to end up having to save 7 if he wants to win.
do it. Leighton Hewitt. Straight sets. Over Roger Federer, 6-4, 6-4.
Big win for Leighton Hewitt. He knew coming in, Federer, if he's hot, he said, is a guy that can beat me. He realized it coming in. He'd lost to him once this year already, but not today. Federer was not hot, and Hewitt took advantage, winning in straight sets and extending his lead now against Andre Agassi for the year-end #1 in the world. That's what he's fighting for. Hewitt is into the semifinals. We've got Safin and Moya already in the semifinals. Only one quarterfinal match remaining. Andy Roddick against Peridorn Shisha-Fan.
Back to Paris with more of our coverage of the Tennis Masters Series here on ESPN after these words.